great trade. You wish they did a little bit what San Francisco did when they signed Mac Jones, 2-year deal. If they tried to extend him when they made the trade, it would have been a lot cheaper. I mean, how many times have we said that about the Cowboys?
Always. We always say that.
But coming off what Pittsburgh let him go.
Right, but once you give up a draft choice, you're sort of already dating. Like, why not try to extend it? And anyway, to your point, when you go to the stadium with George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb for the next 3 to 4 years, guys, very few, if any, teams have two corners that can match up. Correct. You have a way to win the game. It's something they have to get done.
What do you think about the idea of the franchise tag and then possibly exploring maybe a trade with that, or just?
I think you franchise him. I think he's sort of what the franchise tag was made for. Unfortunately, franchise does not rhyme with commit or quit, so we can't use it as an answer in this segment. But I do think that's what the Cowboys are likely to do. And I can see the case for it. He does come from Pittsburgh with some warning labels, right? That might make you want to see it again before you fully commit. The franchise tags are going to be, about $28 million, which is right around T. Higgins' salary. He may not like it, but I think they're in a position where that makes the most sense for them as a franchise.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Today on Get Up, the NFL offseason rumor mill is in full swing, and Adam Schefter's presence means we are getting the real inside scoop. We are talking about George Pickens potentially staying in Dallas, Trey Hendrickson's future with the Bengals, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, and the Super Bowl MVP running backs contract situation. This is the kind of segment that makes February bearable: pure speculation, hard analysis, and a whole lot of what if. Let's start with the biggest name on the board, George Pickens and the Dallas Cowboys. The panel is playing a game called Commit or Quit, and the question is simple: should Dallas commit to Pickens long term, or should they move on? Mike Tannenbaum sets the stage. You have to commit. This is the best receiver tandem in the league. No disrespect to T. Higgins and J.M.R. Chase, but these two are better. He's making the case that with CeeDee Lamb and Pickens, the Cowboys have an unstoppable duo. Dak Prescott is in his prime, playing at an MVP level. The offense is elite. All they need is a middle-of-the-pack defense, and with 2 first-round picks and Quinnen Williams, they can get there through the draft and free agency. But here's the complication. Pickens came with warning labels from Pittsburgh. As one analyst notes, he does come from Pittsburgh with some warning labels. That might make you want to see it again before you fully commit. The franchise tag is the obvious solution, about $28 million, right around T. Higgins' salary. It gives Dallas another year to evaluate without committing long-term. The counter-argument is about the locker room. Isn't Micah Parsons a cautionary tale? Don't you think the locker room is going to roll their eyes and go, "Here we go again"? But as someone points out, the Cowboys have done this with Dak Prescott twice, and he's still on the team. They're not afraid to use the tag. The real question is how Pickens would respond. When you get money, it just makes you more of what you already are. If you give him the money, it could unleash him to bad habits that we saw in Pittsburgh. It's a classic damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. Now, let's pivot to Trey Hendrickson and the Cincinnati Bengals. This one is personal. Hendrickson led the league in sacks 2 years in a row. He's been waiting for a market-level deal for 3 years. And the Bengals keep kicking the can down the road, hoping he has a bad season so they can lower his value. The panel's frustration is palpable. They've been putting band-aids on this, promising him a long-term contract. All he did was lead the league in sacks 2 years in a row, and they keep trying to kick the can down the road, hoping he has a bad season. Bart makes the player's case. At this point, I'm trying to win a championship. You guys picked when you decided to pay T. Higgins the money and not value both sides of the ball. So let me go. Quit trying to hold me hostage. The obvious landing spot? Dallas. They tried to trade for him last year. No state taxes in Texas means he can make up some of the money he's losing on a below-market deal. It's a perfect fit. But the bigger issue here is Joe Burrow. This is all about Joe Burrow thinking and hoping every day he comes and we have a chance to win and our organization is doing everything we can. If the Bengals let Hendrickson walk, what message does that send to their franchise quarterback? Now, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. The consensus is brutal. Quit. He's going to be 43 years old. The Steelers don't have a ready-made roster. The defense is aging. The run game hasn't come together. As one analyst puts it, we got to quit. He's going to be 43 years old in December. It is time. Another adds, sometimes you just got to let it go, man. She's just not that into you. The The Seahawks and Kenneth Walker are another fascinating case. He's coming off a Super Bowl MVP performance, which always inflates value. The Seahawks have strict roster building principles. If he wants top-of-market running back money, they'll probably let him walk. As one analyst notes, Soxonomics talks about players coming off monster performances in marquee games becoming overvalued. Anthony Rendon got a huge contract with the Angels and massively underperformed. The Seahawks have to be disciplined. And finally, the Buffalo Bills and their receiver situation. The consensus is split. Some say defense is the priority. They couldn't stop the run at all last year. Others argue they need a number one receiver. I'm sure they were watching the Super Bowl saying, "We are better than the New England Patriots. We need a number one frontline receiver right now. Let's go get them. Let's use a 26 pick in the draft, be it A.J. Brown or somebody else." The off-season is just getting started, and the rumors are already flying. Pickens, Hendrickson, Rodgers, Walker. The next few months are going to be chaos. What do you think? Should the Cowboys commit to George Pickens long-term or use the franchise tag? Can the Bengals afford to let Trey Hendrickson walk? And is it finally time for the Steelers to move on from Aaron Rodgers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you love NFL off-season rumor season as much as I do, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.